So let me check whether my voice is totally audible or not. Okay. My voice is completely audible now. Yeah. So let's get started. So hey guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's lecture, we will be continuing our Pocket ID application. See, the basic authentication of our backend, like logins registered, has been done, and most of the front end part is also done. Like the front end part is here, as you can see. So inside the front end, we have this sign up page, and inside the sign up page, we have different Aadhaar card, PAN card, driving license, and also COVID vaccine was also there, right? So we have all these things already present. You can see the splash screen looks perfect. Then this animation is also fine. And here you have profiles and stuff. Like these pages are not completed from my end, but yeah, you can do it by yourself, right? But apart from this, you can see that my profile is there, then settings is there, right? And then you have help also is there. So these are all the different particular pages that we have created, right? Now, before integrating the backend inside our front end, what we have to do, we have to make sure that our front end has some sort of state management tools, like for example, that which particular data should be transferred from this state to that state. Like for example, if there is some name or if there is some information that I need to be transferred from a single page. Like let's say we go a little back here. Okay, so we just firstly start our animation. Okay. So let's say we have this login screen. So information like the email that I'm gonna enter here, right? Like for example, the emails. @gmail.com. Okay, so the email that I'm gonna enter, I need that email to be there in the next screen, right? So currently it's gonna go empty, but I want that this should be present here, right? So what I can do, I can use providers for that. Providers are basically used for state management, and it also helps us to, transfer a sort of some information from one screen to another. Like for example, here you can see we have profiling. So So here we can say that hi and loading. Instead of loading, we can add your name, and then after that, what you can do, you can add forget pin, and then you can add passwords and stuff, right? So all these things can be added inside our screen. Firstly, when we understand that how to start with this particular providers. Okay. So without wasting any further time, let's get started with the providers. So let me just go to our main code here. Okay. Now inside the main code, when we will be using providers, we have to make sure to create a specific uh, thing for it. Like for example, let me check here. I'll go inside this, and inside this we have sort of different names for each and every file, right? So let me start with the first one, that is main dot dart. Okay. So inside the main dot dart, as soon as the application gets loaded, we have to make sure to see that what all particular theme or what all particular data is there in. So what I'm gonna do, the first thing that I have to make sure is to add provider inside our package, right? So for adding provider, firstly I'll go to pubspec.yml, and inside that you can see I've already added provider, right? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import, and right after that import, I'm gonna call package. Inside the package, I'm gonna add provider. Okay. And that's it. I'm gonna just call provider here. Okay. So after calling the provider, what we have to do, we have to make sure that our application that we are trying to run runs perfectly, right? So what I'll do, I'll firstly enter the I'll firstly enter run app. Okay. Now inside this run app, what I'll do, I'll write change notifier provider. Okay. So change notifier provider, and inside this, what I'm gonna do, Inside this, what I'll write theme provider. So the theme provider. Okay. So what we will do, we will call for theme provider, and inside this theme provider, we are going to create and store some data. So create, now inside create, I'm gonna write underscore blank. And then what we will do, we will just call for theme provider. That's theme provider. Okay, that's it. And also what I'll do, I'll just add child const my app. Okay, that's it. And here I'm gonna add a semicolon here. Okay. And then what we have to do, we have to make sure to add widget. Okay, flutter binding. Okay, so inside widget, flutter binding dot ensure initialize. Okay, that's what we are going to do. Ensure that binding initialize before calling the run app. Okay, so that is what the role of our data is. And then what we have to do, we have to make sure to add theme provider here. So what you will do in this material app, I'm going to wrap this with widget. Okay, or let's call this out as it. So what I'll do, I'll just come here and I'm gonna write return. Okay, return consumer. Okay. And inside the consumer, what I'm gonna write theme provider. Okay. And right after this theme provider, we have two, three things. The first thing is builder. So inside the builder, the first thing that I'm gonna call is context. Then I'm gonna call provider. Okay. Provider, and then I'm gonna call child. Okay. So these things are the three things that you are going to call. Now, as soon as it will start, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write final theme provider equals to provider dot off. Okay, set that off. I'm gonna add a theme provider, and inside this as well, I'm gonna add context. Okay, so that's it. Now, what we will do, we will write this material app from there to here. Okay, so we will write this material app from there to here. Right inside this. Okay. Let me now just format this out, and this looks perfect. Okay. So that's it about theme provider. Okay. Now, what this theme provider has, theme provider will be having sort of different themes here. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly go inside my utilities, and inside my utilities, I'm gonna create a file. So I'll write theme changer dot. Obviously, we want to make sure to change the theme whenever we press a button, right? So for that, we are going to use it. So import package flutter material.dart. Inside that class, we are going to write theme provider. Inside this theme provider, I'm going to extend it to change notifier. Okay. Now this change notifier will be having some of the things inside. Okay. It will be small. Now it works. Okay. Yeah. So inside this change notifier, what I'm going to add, first thing I'm going to ask is string. So a string current theme. So inside the current theme, we are going to add the light. So the current theme is light. And then what I'm going to write, I'm going to write theme mode, get theme mode. Okay. So, and right inside this theme mode, I'm going to add a condition that if what, let me just firstly have a look at whether my stream is even visible to you guys or not. Okay. So just wait for a second. Yeah. Everything seems to look perfect without any errors. Okay. So yeah, just continue. So inside this, what we have is the current theme equals to light. Okay. So what I'm gonna add that if the current theme is light, then what you do, you can return theme mode dot dart. So theme, you can return what theme mode dot light. Okay, that's it. And what I'll write if else if what current theme equals to start, then what you do, then you are going to return something else. So return the mode dot. That's it. Now after this we have the last, that is else. Inside this else I'm gonna return theme mode dot light. That's what I'm gonna return in this. Let me just format this out. It looks perfect now. And similarly, right after this, we have same thing for brightness as well. So brightness get theme brightness. Okay, so get theme brightness, and inside this theme brightness, what I'm gonna write that if current theme equals to light. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna return brightness dot so brightness dot light, and similarly, what I'll do here is thus if current theme equals to dark, okay, then we are going to basically return brightness for dark. Okay, that's what we are going to return. And in the last case, nothing, just brightness dot right. Okay, so return brightness dot right. Okay. So these are all the things. And the last thing that I'm gonna add here is change theme. Inside the change theme, I'm gonna add string theme. Okay. And right after string theme, we are going to add current theme equals to theme and notify listeners. So what we have done here is we have done this to notify all the listeners. Okay. Then here we are doing the title to change exactly the theme of our data. Okay. And let me just import this. Most of the errors should be resolved by now. Okay. Yeah. So most of our errors has been gone from there. Now let's just make sure to check for any other errors. Okay, so let me just make sure to. So that's it. Let me go to our data and restart our application to see whether our file is working or not. Okay, so let me just wait for a minute, and yeah, it's working. Yeah, without any sort of issues. That looks perfect now. And let's also make sure to go inside our navigation drawer. And inside this button, I need to make sure that, we add a basic data into it, right? That whenever we are pressing this button, then yeah, it should be changed. Okay, so now let's just do one thing. Let me go to the nav drawer, and inside the nav drawer, we have this title above, right, somewhere here. So inside this gesture detector, what we are going to do, we are going to write on tap function. So let me just do one thing. Me remove this gesture detector from there, and I'm gonna add consumer. Okay. And inside this consumer, I'm gonna write theme folder. Okay. Then right after this theme provider, we are going to work inside this, and what we are going to do, we are going to create a builder. Okay. And inside this builder, what we have the first thing is basically builder. And inside the builder, the first thing is the context. Okay. And right after the context is the theme provider. Okay. And right after this theme provider, we have the shell. Okay. So that's it about it. And now what I'm gonna do, now inside this, we are going to specify that. So what we will do, we will basically return our, will basically return our gesture detector here. So gesture detector. And inside this gesture detector, we have the function called on tab, right? So inside this on tab, we will be specifying all these things here. Provider.dart has been imported. Yeah, everything looks perfect. So inside this on tab functionality, what we are going to do, we are going to firstly create a bracket, this bracket, and inside this curly bracket. Okay. Now inside that, the first thing that I'm gonna specify is where theme equals to theme provider dot current theme. Okay. So inside this theme provider dot current theme, then what I'm gonna write that if theme equals to system. So or theme equals to light. Okay. So these things I'm gonna add. And in this case, what you do, you write theme provider change theme to dark. Okay. And what we will do, we will also add condition that in else situation, what you do, you change this to light. Okay. So theme provider change theme to light. Okay. So yeah, not current theme. Actually, it should be change theme. So change theme equals to time. Okay. So that will be it for this particular OnTap function. Now inside this, what we have a child. So now child will be having icon. So inside this, the first thing that we have to check is firstly, I'm gonna check for theme. So theme provider or current theme equals to light. If the current theme is light, then what you do, you check it. Okay, so if the current theme is light, then you will give icons dot sunny. Okay, that's it. And you can even add colors and size or something. So size will be 28, colors will be colors dot right. Okay. So that will be it for the colors. And right after this, what you do, you add one more statement, which will be storing icons dot midnight or midlight outline. Okay. And inside the size, it will be 28. And right after the size, the color will be colors dot white. Colors dot white. That's it. Now let me just format this out. Okay, so I think so now this looks fine. Let me just format this out. So now I think so it should work properly. Let me just reload the code and just wait for it to work properly, right? So let's just see whether our data is working or not. So we'll go to the provider and inside the provider. See, currently it's light. If I'm tapping it out, currently nothing is going on, but yeah, you can see icon is changing. But I think so that I have to also check my theme inside main.dart as well. So we'll go inside our main.dart file, and inside this main.dart, we will also ensure to enter dark theme also, right? So for the dark theme, we will write colors dot dark theme data dot dark, and for this we will write theme data dot. Right. Okay, so let me reload it now, so that maybe it should work properly. Just give it a minute. Load. Yeah, still it's not working. I have to make sure to check for the provider so that the data that we are trying to fetch should be properly reloaded every single time we uses it. Right? That's why we have to make sure that all those data is properly printed out. Okay, so let's go and check for more things in it. Like, see, inside main.dart, I have added a basic providers and things. Okay. But now what I have to do, I have to make sure that we add providers in different parts as well. Right. So what we'll do, we will firstly check for theme data. And yeah, theme data looks perfect to me without any sort of errors. But yeah, we have to inspect nav drawer for once so that, we might be doing some mistakes with the code so that it will be gettable. But yeah, we'll see that later on. Currently, you can see that inside the main.dart, our main provider work has been done, right? And main.dart, there is no such need to change any providers here. And right after that, we should be immediately redirected to the login screen over there. Okay. So inside the login also we have our own set of providers and stuffs if we uses it. Otherwise, it's basically not necessary that we use this provider inside login page. But yeah, I will really prefer that if you uses it out. So like here, for example, what we have done, we will go to this particular page, home page not that. Now, inside this home page, we can also add providers because there's a lot of data that is going to pass from here and there. So definitely we need to add the provider data as there is. Okay. So like there is important stuff left. Like not much of that course is not much of that playlist is basically left out. But yeah, most of our work has been done. Front end part is done, and mostly little bit of back end stuff is left. So yeah, we will be doing that one as well. Right? Yeah, but majority of our work has been properly done here. Now, talking about the code, so our code is available here on my GitHub. So you can just go onto my GitHub account, and from there you will be able to get the code. CFC backend and front end is also present here. I'll be uploading the code as soon as I make some changes or modifies it, right? So yeah, code is available there. You can just go and you know you can just go and download it from there and can access the code from there. Okay. There is one more thing that we have not implemented yet. That is our set pin. Okay. So when we will be completely logged in, then we will be able to set a very basic pin. Okay, a 4-digit pin, which I can show you right here. Inside this, we have this code. This will be a 4-digit pin that you will be able to set as soon as completes out your login, so that the next time you tries to access your information or access your documents, you will be directly redirected without need to log in again and again. Right. So that's why this login is very important, or you can say this 4-digit code is very important. So we will be accessing that as well. Right. So now inside this, what we have provider part is little bit left. Okay, there is not much infos to add about providers. Then provider will be added inside our homepage, which we will do later on in the next part. Okay. And you have the providers inside your nav drawer as well. And you have to add providers inside your profile as well. And except for the profile, there is not much places where you have to add provider. Because the four files in which we have to add provider is, let me just close all of these. So the first file in which we have to add currently is our homepage. Then you have your document page part. Okay, inside that also you have to add providers so that you will be able to access the info. And right after this, what you have your own profile bars. So inside profile also you have to add this. And the last one is login register. So there are only four places where you have to add providers, which we will be doing in the next part. Like most of the part of this will be done within our next lecture. Okay. So I hope you have understood the concept of providers here. Okay. And also you have understood that there are not much left into this. Just basic part is left. We just need to merge this backend and we also need to just add providers into it, right? So that's it. I hope you have understood all the things which we have done, basics and everything. The code I have already modified on my GitHub, so you can access the code from there. You will be able to see the code on my GitHub. See, this is the backend. And as I have showed you in the previous lecture, that backend is also running perfectly. You can see like this. Okay, so yeah, you can see the backend is running here. And yeah, so inside that, if you will go and if you will just write about, so if you will search for about, you will be getting about, and you have the basics with welcome to Pocket ID backend, right? So the backend part is done and the code here. As I was talking about, if I will refresh it, you can see the front end is modified right now. So it's like day 12 in it. Yeah, day 12 providers, and we have successfully done part 12 providers. So from there, you can access out the code. You can just go to the code, download it, clone with your GitHub or something like that, or you can just directly go and access it. Okay. And this is my GitHub. If you have any sort of doubts and queries, if you have any discussion to do with me, comment me, follow me there, and also make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss an upcoming video. Okay. So this was pretty much it for this video. I hope you have like that most of your work has been done, right? So I'll see you in the next one where we will be continuing our part. Okay. So till then, let me just wrap it out. And we can even check that, lots and lots of part has been done throughout our series till now. Like if you will just go and have a look, maybe there are 34 lectures that we have done so far, right? Yeah, I just need to access the playlist. So inside the playlist, you can see that most of the work has been done. So yeah, this is the day 12 of our Pocket ID application. Pocket ID was not that a big application, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that we create precise and proper information about it. That's why I wanted to make sure that, we create each and everything with proper functionality and explanation so that anybody watching this should not have any sort of doubts and issues. Okay. So I hope this part is clear to you. You can just check out for the playlist if you have any problem. I have taught everything from beginning, like Flutter fundamentals, then Flutter fundamentals for beginners, then whether then Node.js, then MongoDB, then integrating. Then we have done the fitness tracker, which was not that much about APIs, but yeah, if you really need to integrate API in that, comment a lot on those videos and I'll be creating an API integration video of that fitness tracker one as well. Okay, so that's it all about it. Now this is the Pocket ID, which will be our last one. And after this, we will be wrapping out this series. Okay, so if you have any suggestions, any topics that you want to learn, anything that you want to ask me, just comment down below and I'll be creating a proper video on it. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one. Till then, see you, have a great day and bye bye.